The
one who was president. And he says, we don't expect you to do everything, but do something. Amen, church? Amen. We don't expect you to do everything, but do something. So let's do something. Let me see those who are happy to be called young. Those who are happy to be called young. Those who are happy to be called that they are young, or to be referred to as young. Okay, even though you don't want to be called young, I will call you young, all of you. Okay? But today I won't do the other one I always love to do. But I will do something new. So, let me see those who want to be like Jesus. Those who want to be like Jesus. Okay, okay. Then those who want to be like Satan. Okay, so it seems everyone wants to be like Jesus. So when I say you want to be like Jesus, you're going to shout yes. And if I shout, you want to be like Satan, you shout no. Are we together? We are together? Okay, we go. You want to be like Jesus? You want to be like Jesus? We should be fast. You want to be like Jesus? You want to be like Jesus? Like Satan? Like Jesus? Okay, I'm starting again. You want to be like Jesus? You want to be like Jesus? Like Satan? Like Jesus? Like Satan? Like Satan? Okay, that's good. Okay, today let's come together in the book of Matthew. We are going to use verse 21, chapter 22, verse 1 to 14. But we are going to read verse 14. And the Bible reads as follows. For many are called, but few are chosen. For many are called, but few are chosen. Interestingly, this is going to be our topic. For many are called, but few are chosen. I love the story told in Matthew chapter 22. From verse 1 up to the verse 14. The story is about the king. This king, perhaps he realized that his own son, has to marry. And he decides to take it upon himself that he should organize a wedding banquet for his son. But there was one thing on this banquet. There were a select few who were chosen that they should attend this banquet. And normally they are usually invited, such people. And I'm sure invitations were sent. And everyone seemed to have responded positively to the call. And the king sat knowing that on the wedding day, everyone who is invited is going to show up. That was the hope and the wish, and that was the reality in the king's mind. And the wedding banquet day approached, and it finally came. When it was, then he reminds his servants, go and remind those people we had invited for the wedding banquet. Inform them that the wedding banquet is on. My fattened calves have been slain. Everything is in order. I was reading this story in Okuambo. And they say, Ili maishe o ili ponele. That's what they say. They say everything is in order. The only thing which was missing is the attendees. Even the bride and the bridegroom were ready. The attendees who were to be invited to attend are the ones who had Then when the servants went to accomplish the task, they were despised that side. Some were beaten, some were killed. Remember, the king sent more than one group of servants to go and remind the invitees. Perhaps the invitees saw that the servants of the king were an irritation. They decided to deal nicely with the last group who was sent. Unfortunately, these invitees, they incurred the wrath of the king. The king was told about what happened to his servants. He acted promptly. And then he gave a new order. And he says, since those who have been to the wedding feast, of course they were invited, but they've proven unworthy. Go now, therefore, into all the streets, the highways, and invite anyone that you want, good and bad. Meet them to the wedding feast. And the servants did as they were ordered. In a twinkle of an eye, the wedding banquet hall was filled. This is the story of Israel and all the people of God. Especially Israel, when you read the Bible, you are going to be told that Israel had been conquered more than once. And whenever they were conquered, it was God's response to their sinfulness. God had chosen Israel for himself. He chose them to be his own special people. He chose them to be the light in the path. He chose them to be examples to the surrounding nations. That through Israel, the people they can see God. When looking at Israel, the onlooker should see God. Unfortunately, the object of God was not met. And whenever the children of Israel went astray, they were busy acting like these invitees. They were just like these invitees. Chosen and invited. But when it's time to exercise the responsibility of the invitation, they go off track. Until the king decided that everyone who can come can be invited. That is when Jesus sent his disciples into the community. First of all, he says, go to the children of the house of Israel. But because the efforts of the Lord in his mercy were fruitless, more than one servant. He sent prophets. He brought up teachers. Even Jesus himself, the ultimate Son of God, came to come and invite Israel back to the throne of God. But Israel did not come. Even Jesus wept over Jerusalem. Asking Jerusalem, how much will I do? I have tried to gather you as a hen gathers the chicks. But you wouldn't comply. How bad it is that you do not know the day of your visitation. That is the time when it was drawing near to the point when Israel lost the favor of God. They still crucified Jesus. As if that was not enough to seal their rebellion, they stoned Stephen. And from that time onward, the invitation to the door of mercy, it was extended to the Gentiles. That is what this king also did. When the invitees messed up, then he decides to extend the invitation to anyone who is willing. And the time which we are living in now, it is in a time when the invitation has extended to the Gentiles. Let's take a lesson for the youth ministry and all other church departments. This day is an enrollment day for the youth ministry. And I'm sure it's not only the youth ministry which is enrolling. All department leaders, they want members to join their departments. From 0 to 3 years, the Sabbath school is more willing to have such children attend Sabbath school. And the Sabbath school, in addition to the youth ministry, from 4 years old upward, everyone is invited to join the youth ministry. Of course, our invitation is still strict. We are still following age requirements. All people aged 4 up to 30. And above that, are willing to be youth. They are all invited according to different departments of the youth ministry. The youth ministry is a program in the Adventist church designed to cater to the needs of youth from age 4 to 30 and above. So all those are invited to meet the leaders at departmental time. We are dealing with the people who were members the previous year. But I'm sure, according to the look of things, that the members who were present in the ministry the previous year, they have been invited to register to it. But the invitation is now extended to those who have never been members before. It is a time if you are willing to join the youth ministry. According to the department where you belong. And the other departments like Dogas, Amo, and other departments. I'm sure they are open for enrollments. So this king, he decides to invite anyone who could make it to the wedding feast. And immediately the banquet hall was filled. It's unfortunate that when these people were being invited, they were not told anything. They were only given a wedding garment. And the wedding garment was given by the king himself. When we read this very chapter 22 in the inspired writings, the pen of inspiration says that the wedding garment, it is a representative or a representation of the character of God. So if we are willing to hear the call of God to mercy, and we want to follow and go according to the call of God, we must put on the wedding garment. What are we putting on as a wedding garment in reality? We are talking about complying with the divine requirements. God has given us the rules we have to follow. He has taught us how we have to live. And when He has taught us that, we have to follow the instructions. When He has given us the wedding garment, which is His character, we have to put it on. When we are found without the wedding garment, it means we are found off track with God. God has given us a path to take. And when we don't put on the wedding garment, it means that we are treading on a path of unrighteousness. And that is the call for the day. That you have to put on that wedding garment. And the wedding garment has to be put on. Immediately you have to put it on when you are given it. After you put it on, you don't have to put it off. If you have received Jesus as your Lord, if you are sure the Lord has called you, make sure you comply with His requirements so that you can choose. You have to be chosen in addition to being called. Of course, we are all called. But it is up to us to be chosen. Because the Lord has done His part. He has left heaven on His throne. He covered the whole distance between heaven and earth. He came to the earth where we are. After coming down vertically, He came to us even horizontally. And He is saying, come to me. I am calling you. Yours is to come. Hear what I have to say. Comply with what I say. And choose you. When you are chosen, then you shall receive. So it is a call. Many are called, but only few are chosen. As soon as you are given the wedding garment, put it on. And when you put it on, never put it off. Because you are in a continuous battle. To be sealed, you have to be responsible. The person who was found in the wedding hall, he entered the wedding hall. Perhaps he thought he won't be caught. because when he entered, he saw around that everyone was having a wedding garment on. But he did not bother to ask where they got the wedding garment. He did not even seek to find out what it was for. But he chose to stay without the wedding garment. If that would be you, we are saying when you see others complying with the divine requirements, you still choose to be a sinner among the righteous. You see everyone striving to be saved, but you still choose to remain out of the reach of salvation. And because of that, the fact that you failed to believe about salvation, you will be doomed. It is up to you. When the wedding garment is presented, when the precept of God are presented, it is up to you to put on the wedding garment. It is up to you to live according to the will of the Lord. When the king came in to look at the guests, it is the king himself who searched around. And he was puzzled to see someone without a wedding garment on. And the Bible does not record that he sent anyone else to go and deal with it. The Bible says the king himself, the one who walked toward the individual, and asked the individual himself that, oh man, how got you in without the wedding garment on? And the Bible records he was speechless. He was speechless. And there was nothing like postponing the judgment. The judgment was done on the very wedding day. It is him who went to the individual. It is him who asked him how he got in. Immediately he was not having anything to say. The divine sentence was presented. Now this time for the punishment, he now gives us to deal with it. And he says, tie him hand and foot. Tie him up. And throw him outside in the darkness where there is gnashing of teeth. That is the divine sentence. That was administered upon the one without the wedding garment on. As long as the Lord comes back and finds you not yet conformed to the divine will, you have no excuse to give. Because the time is now. I remember the rich man and Lazarus. When the rich man died, I don't know what that parable really means. The narrative reached on a path of saying this rich man was shown Lazarus in the bosom of Abraham. And this rich man says, oh, Father Abraham, allow me a chance to go back to life, so that I can go and inform my brethren that they should not take the path I took. And Abraham says, you can't do that. If your family members won't hear them that are talking to them in life, it means even if you were to rise from the dead and go there, fact is that they won't listen. If they were willing to listen, they would hear the very ones who are addressing. So whoever stands in front here, whoever runs the Bible study, whoever teaches you in the Sabbath school classes, whoever talks to you about God living in the street, it's up to you to receive the wedding garment.